Hello and welcome to another episode of the Family Gamers Podcast. This is episode 424.
Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the show. We are super excited to do this. Who are we? The Family Gamers. As always, I'm your host Andrew, and I am joined by my lovely and wonderful and, let's face it, slightly sunburned wife, Anitra.
That's me.
I mentioned slightly sunburned because we just had a party today. What did we have a party about?
Our daughter recently graduated from high school, so we had a graduation party.
Hooray! Congratulations,
we spent the
daughter.
entire day outside.
But I mentioned this because it is impacting our decision on what we're going to talk about this week on the show.
Yeah, we're going to talk about games that you might give a new graduate, like our daughter.
Here's how we're going to do this. We've picked a couple of different kinds of games, and I have a list, and Anitra has a list, and she doesn't know what my list is, and I don't know what hers is. So when we get to the second half of the show, we talk about our topic. We're going to kind of throw back and forth some ideas on some games that we would buy for a grad.
But before that, it is time for a fact.
It is. So in 1991, a movie came out called Dances with Wolves. Have you ever seen this movie?
I have not, but I know it has
Really?
Kevin
You've never
Costner.
seen Dances with Wolves?
I haven't.
All right. Anitra and I are going to watch Dances with Wolves. This is a great
Someday.
movie. It's a great movie. Like, it's a
So I've
classic.
heard.
Okay. And it grossed $424 million at the box office.
Ah.
Yeah. So that's the actual fact. $424 million in 1991 translates to over $1 billion today. It actually is $1,043,261,000.
Okay.
So that's kind of crazy. The interesting thing about that is that if you look at the top 50 grossing movies of all time, number 50 is a nothing burger movie, if you ask me personally. It's Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, which grossed $1.045 million. So, like, if you compare it in that way in terms of dollars today, like, they're really close.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Dances with Wolves, very, very close to being a top 50 grossing movie of all time. 1991, it grossed $424 million.
Very cool.
And apparently I'm going to be watching it soon because you need to watch this movie.
Sure. I have a message from our sponsor. As a reminder, First Move is letting us know how they would work with a young couple earning a combined $100,000 with a net worth of around $25,000 and the goals of buying a home and starting a family in the next few years. This example couple has some student loan debt, so First Move would want to see which repayment plan they're currently on, if they've consolidated their loans, and what their current status is. They've seen clients who were deferring payments each year at the advice of their loan servicer to adjust the income on their recertification. This saves them a little on monthly payments, but when you go into deferral, then all the interest you've racked up is added to the loan's principal. This is a big deal because most student loans only pay interest on the principal amount, that's the amount you initially borrowed, not on any accrued interest. So deferring the loans can cause them to balloon. That's probably not the best idea. First Move can explain all these details and help this couple understand what's really going on with their student loan debt. But for you, what you should know is that you can set up a totally free call by going to firstmovefinancial.com/familygamers today.
Thanks so much to the team at First Move for sponsoring another episode of the show. So Anitra, we've got some games on here, which a couple of them are new for both of us.
Yep.
Some of them are new for me. One of them is new for me. So let's start at the top with a couple of party games that we played. We played these back to back, so we actually have already had the chance to evaluate both of them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And both of these are published by 25th Century Games.
Correct.
All right, so the first one of these is Vanity Plates. It's VNTYPL, the number 8S.
Yes.
Yeah. So what did you think of this game, Nitra?
I liked it more than I thought I was going to.
Okay.
It reminded me of some other party games that we've played where everyone is putting out some kind of a clue and then everyone is trying to guess the clue that, the one person put out.
Sure.
Whether that's So Clover, caution signs, or something like that, where you're trying to kind of fit all these puzzle pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
However, in Vanity Plates, the restrictions are remarkably hard on how to make a vanity license plate, right? And
Sure.
the letters and numbers you need to include, what you can and can't say from the clue that you yourself are given of like a type of person that it's for.
I don't recall there being all that much that you can and cannot say. I think you can't put any part of the type of person that you are
Directly into the plate.
in the plate. But other than that, basically you get 2 cards. You get an identity card and you get a card that has 4 alphanumeric characters,
3 or 4
letters or
something
numbers
like
that you have to include in your plate.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to concoct a plate that includes these 4 alphanumeric characters and gives hints as to your identity. Everybody at the table has to do this. You take all the identities, you shuffle them with, I think, 6 additional identities.
Yes, which is a lot.
And then you lay all of the identities face up in the middle of the table, and then you go around and whoever guesses first.
Whoever guesses correctly first.
Okay, correctly first, sure, gets some points.
Yeah. So it was more restrictive than I thought it was going to be, but once we went through like one round of doing this as a family, we really locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are better at it than others. That's fine. But we really enjoyed the whole process of doing it together, whether it was tying, multiple people yelling out the same thing at the same time because they got it first, or someone explaining their reasoning of why they made a plate the way they did,
right?
Which happened sometimes with good guesses and sometimes with bad guesses, and it was still fun.
So that was Vanity Plates. I think we had some fun with this one. And then right after that, we played Bullseye. This is another game from 25th Century Games. This is structured a little bit more like Just One, where you have one person who is trying to guess a hidden word. So the way this game works is there is a category that's revealed. The guesser knows the category. And then one of the people in the group picks a clue that's in that category, shows that to everyone. And then from there, everybody is trying to give clues to the guesser to guess what that word is that's on the back of the category card.
But you give the clues one letter at a time.
Yes.
So everybody writes down the first letter of something they think would make a good clue.
And they cannot communicate with the other clue givers.
And then the guesser has a chance to guess if they would like to, or they can pass. If they pass, everyone then passes their little whiteboard to the next player on the left, and everyone writes the next letter of what they think would be a good clue. Wow.
Yeah. So this is a game that is subject, I think, to very, very high highs and very, very low lows. Because when you have no idea what the person before you is trying to clue, or even worse yet, when the person to your right who started it knows and the person to your left who goes after you knows, and you write something that doesn't fit with them, it's intense frustration across the board.
Yeah. But the highs are really high. Like, getting this stuff right feels so good. So our play of Bullseye was a lot more uneven.
Very, very uneven. So the thing about this game is that it's really 2 puzzles in one.
Yeah.
Right? There's the puzzle from the guesser to try to guess the thing that relates to the category. And then there's also the puzzle of the clue givers to try to figure out what the other clue givers are saying without them being able to communicate.
Yeah, it's this double puzzle as the clue givers of trying to both come up with good clues to give and trying to figure out what other people's clues are so you can help fill those in.
It's weird. It's almost like different people around the table have 2 out of the 3 pieces of information and they're trying to find the third piece of information.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think this one was just a little bit more frustrating for our family. Some people more so than others. Right?
Yeah, I think the lack of communicating made it really hard with the environment we were in. And although Bullseye is fully cooperative, it led to a lot more frustration with the other people around the table.
I agree with that.
Whereas Vanity Plates was very much a, you got it or you didn't get it. We're competing against each other. And that actually added to some of the fun in the tension of that game.
I think so. Because there's the fun of coming up with a clever clue, right? And everybody gets to come up with a full clue, right? Not just a piece of it.
Yeah.
And then there's the race to solve the clue. And both of those things, both sides of that are fun.
Yeah.
And so even though it can be a little bit challenging to sort out what in the world you're going to say with this garbage in your on your card
Oh
or
my
whatever.
goodness. Yeah.
It is more fun. And I would agree with you. I enjoyed Vanity Plates a lot more than I expected. And I actually enjoyed Bullseye a little bit less than I expected. Not to the point where I was frustrated, but I was a little disappointed at how frustrated other people got.
Sure.
But I couldn't blame them because it, you know what I mean? It
Mhm.
tracked with how the game went mechanically. So, yeah.
It's funny. I thought Vanity Plates was going to be a much more uneven experience, and like some people were going to like it, some people weren't. But overall, we had a really good time with it. And Bullseye ended up being the much more kind of frustrating
Yeah, I agree.
time.
I agree. I thought Vanity Plates was going to be kind of like, okay, it's another kind of throwaway party game. But I actually thought it came, with some really good ideas.
Yeah. I don't think Bullseye was bad, but I think you need the right kind of group for it.
Yep.
And some rounds our family did were great, but others were not.
Right. It is notable to say that Bullseye was made by the same people who made Smug Owls. And so there's a little bit of that kind of like, these are games for smart people, basically, right?
You need to be clever.
Or at least cerebral. Like, maybe you don't need to be smart, but you need to be clever or cerebral, or you need to have that, whatever that element is in your DNA.
Or be really in tune with the other people in your group.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, Smug Owls doesn't necessarily require that, but Bullseye does.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else we got?
Well, we played some more Unmatched Stars and Stripes.
Mm-hmm.
Still really enjoying this one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's really, really good. More of Wyatt Earp being a rascal.
Pretty much, yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, we're having a lot of fun with this. I kind of want to go back to Rosie and play some more Rosie.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
I played some Fight for Olympus with our son, Asher.
Yeah.
Man, that game is really tight. And I keep forgetting that about it when I sit down to play, because beginning of every game is very open, like, oh, I could do all of these different things. And then it very quickly comes down to, oh, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
What can I do to possibly slow the other person down a little bit?
Yeah, I remember playing this game for the first time, the first few times, and I really, really like this game.
I really like it, even though, depending on the luck of the draw, it can be very swingy.
Sure.
And sometimes you spend the entire game just trying to claw your way back up. But it's really satisfying, even through that, most of the time.
Right. There's a lot of good decision space in that game.
Yeah.
All right, we played some more Got 5.
We did.
So I think I might never win again.
I started doing better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We also have been introducing it to some teenage friends, and they've all been enjoying it too. If you're a smart kid, there's a certain amount of intuitiveness about, I'm just trying to figure out these numbers in order.
I agree with that. I think that's true. Yep. Next game on the list is Spirits of the Wild Awakening. So Spirits of the Wild was a game that came out and went to, mainstream. It sold out. It was super popular. Mm-hmm. Awakening is, I don't actually know what the difference is between Spirits of the Wild and Spirits of the Wild Awakening.
I think they added more animals, maybe.
Probably. There's a lot of animals in this game.
I mean, Spirits of the Wild Awakening is published by Mattel.
Right. So do you want to talk a little bit about what you do in this game?
Sure. Spirits of the Wild, you have 5 animal boards. Mm-hmm. You and your opponent need to have the identical 5.
Yeah, and this is out of like 10 or 15
it's
or
like
something.
15
There's
or
a ton
something.
of them.
There's a big selection. You also have a little selection of action tiles. I want to say you have like 6 of them. Mm-hmm. So on your turn, you pick one of the action tiles, you flip it over to show it's been used. Those action tiles will let you take stones or manipulate stones. There's a bag of stones, there's a bowl. And so if you're taking stones, you're just taking them from the bowl. And then there's different actions that let you like add stones to the bowl and then take some, or add stones to the bowl and then do something else. Each one of the 5 animal boards in front of you has different restrictions on how you can place stones and what combinations of stones will earn points. Most of these are still pretty straightforward, like a pair, or for each pair of matching colors you put down, you get points, or you want all the same color and the more you have, the more points you get, or you want all different colors and the more you have, the more points you get. There are a few really wild and wacky animals that earn points in very strange ways and therefore kind of change up how the game works.
Yeah, I think the game changes probably every single time you play based on the animals you choose.
But there's also, on top of all of that, there's this mover called the Coyote, which can block off your board or one of your opponent's boards. There are a couple of different ways to move the Coyote in the game. 2 of them are always through your little action tiles. one of the actions that lets you take tokens out of the bag also has you move the coyote. And then the two take a single stone actions. Once you've taken them both, the little backsides show that you get the coyote move.
Mm-hmm.
It's really clever graphic design on that one. Some of the other animals will also do things that let you move the coyote, depending on what animals you have. And then there are these spirit cards, I think they're called. One of the 6 actions you have is to just reset all of your actions. But when you do that, it also allows you to use a spirit card that's currently face up. Like the animals, these run the whole gamut, and some of them are very straightforward, and some of them are really weird. And you don't really know what you're going to get until you start playing the game, because you're supposed to select these cards at random.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point of the game is to earn the most points. Points are only calculated at the very end of the game. And the end of the game happens on the turn where there are 5 of these one special color of stone out anywhere in the play area. So the bowl, both players' boards, etc. That is a super high level overview. It doesn't sound nearly as interesting as it actually is, because to get into why this is so interesting, we'd have to really delve into the details, and I don't want to do that right now.
Sure. I mean, this is a game that we bought, so this is not a game that we're going to review, but that's okay. The other thing I would say about Spirits of the Wild is that it reminded me a little bit of a way more flexible Draftosaurus.
I could see that.
Right?
Yeah.
Because all the different dinosaurs in Draftosaurus all score in different ways, which is just like all of the animals in Spirits of the Wild. But in Draftosaurus, you have a fixed board, so it's always the same animals. It's always, on the same sides of the
same little
river
things,
or the whatever, like all that stuff. So it's a little bit more consistent of a game.
Mm-hmm.
But also Draftosaurus, obviously mechanically, you're not choosing an action, you're choosing a dinosaur, and you're placing a dinosaur in a pen. It's
Based
actually
on a
the pens
restriction.
that score differently. It's
Yeah,
not
the
the
pen is
dinosaurs
what
that
scores
score differently. My apologies. And also in Draftosaurus, you can play with more than 2 people.
Yes.
So there are differences, but there's an awful lot of similarities.
A fair bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I enjoyed playing this game. I think this game does have a lot of variability. This is a 2-player only game. I could see this coming to date night or date breakfast a lot, just because
Very
it's
possibly.
going to be different most of the time when you
Yeah.
play. And so, you're not just rehashing the same game every time. That's Spirits of the Wild Awakening. Really like this game a lot. Gonna keep playing this game. Definitely recommend it. It was $6 or something like that on sale. It was crazy.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see a sale quite that good again, but this is definitely one where if you see it on sale, highly recommend. It's a good one to pick up.
Yeah. I will also say I've been seeing for a couple of weeks, like, Barnes & Noble clearance, like, go check your local Barnes & Noble, and I've gone to our Barnes & Noble a couple of times and haven't seen anything. This past week we went to Barnes & Noble and actually picked up a couple of games on some pretty good deals. We picked up Canvas Critters for $10.
Yep.
And the new Hummingbirds game from The Op we picked up for $12.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to
which is a
trying
really
that
good
one.
deal. Yeah. One of our contributing writers, his wife was like college friends or college roommates or something with the artist in that game. So that's pretty cool. Sort of a Kevin Bacon level connection.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Well, moving on, let's talk community.
Sure. We have 2 new members to the community, so I will just welcome them. Welcome to Enrica and welcome to George. Glad you joined the community. Hope you're finding some interesting things in there already on Facebook, like Backtalk. Let's just jump right into our Backtalk. What do you think?
I think we should. So we asked 2 weeks ago if your family plays any super short games, and if so, what are they?
Mm-hmm. So we had a couple of answers on Facebook. Colin Slaby says, Slamwich. All right. I like Slamwich, but we don't do slapping games in our family.
We have talked about that before.
We have. Too many people get too hurt physically and mentally trying to play slapping games. So
yes.
We just kind of avoid them.
On the Discord, Peter Schott gives us a bit of a list, including Monopoly Deal, Mancala, Cribbage, and a couple other filler type games. He said they're usually in the 15 minutes or so range. That is pretty much exactly what we're looking for.
Yep. Yeah, we have a lot of lists from members on Discord. So, man,
yes,
if you want a game, that's the place to go, I guess. Ken Walter said, many card games fit the bill for us. Trio, Jungo, Tussie Mussy. Also, Fiverr Findin', we broke out the other day. I think we talked about it, so it was just a call out. Food Fighters, Sky Team, all fit the under 30-minute time frame.
I don't know if under 30 minutes is quite what we're going for when we said super short, but
sure, yeah. Yeah, I don't.
You're in the spirit. You're in the spirit of the
I wouldn't
question.
call Sky Team a super short game. It doesn't feel like that to me.
Stefan names 2 games that I have never heard of before. Punto and Just Number 4 Fun.
I think it's Punto.
Punto?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Daniel Rocky back on Facebook says, I'm a sucker for buying small games. See, that's why you two get along so well.
It is part of why we get along so
Maybe
well.
I'll get all these small games played as opposed to that big game I really want to play. Sea Salt and Paper is our current favorite.
I have played Sea Salt and Paper on Board Game Arena. It is a fun little card game.
Yeah, you'll have to show it to me sometime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So then Rob said, 4th grade indoor recess calls for lots of werewords and sushi go.
Sure.
At home, Azul is the 10-minute game of choice.
All right, you got to power through it to play it in 10 minutes, but I can see that.
I could see it.
Yeah.
The Joyful Jedi asked if we were only going for games without timers, and I had to let him know that if you really like games with timers, go ahead and include them. That's just not usually our family's jam, although maybe with hummingbirds it will be. We'll find out.
I don't know. We'll have to see when we play it. Justin Reese agrees with Daniel Rocky, and he lists Sea Salt and Paper. He also lists Castle Combo, Nikojima. I don't remember Nikojima being a particularly,
it's pretty
super short game. I remember being,
it's
short,
pretty short.
but for me, it was short, unfulfilling short, as opposed to short,
I
we
agree.
finished the game.
I
You know what I
agree.
mean?
Yeah.
And then he also lists Far Away, which is a game that I actually really want to play.
That doesn't seem like it would be a short game, but I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
JP on the Discord says, we have a shelf of super quick games that lives near our dining table. Some of the games on that shelf right now are Tag Team, Deducto, Trash Dash, and Me Want Pancakes. A little something for everyone.
Me want pancakes right now.
Yum.
Yeah, pancakes. All right. Anyway, the last one on Facebook is from Tyler Lowe, who says, Duck and Cover is always a fun one to play with the family. My 6-year-old daughter is on a Rat-a-tat-cat kick recently. Love that game.
All
What a
right,
classic that is. So that's being pulled off the shelf quite often. As far as my personal favorite, I really enjoy playing the 2-player game Sail with my wife after the kids have gone to bed.
I've heard good things about that one. Back on the Discord, Adrian says, aside from the ones we already mentioned, we play Bag of Chips, Dingo's Dream, Flip Tunes, and Carnuta.
Okay. Carnuta, great game. I don't know that I would call that a super short game either. It doesn't really feel like it to me.
I feel like kind of like Azul, once you get used to it, you could probably power through it pretty quickly.
Okay, that's fair. I remember Bag of Chips. We played Bag of Chips on our camping trip either last year or the year before.
Yeah.
That game is hilarious.
That was silly.
Yes.
Very silly.
Joyful Jedi coming back with a whole bunch of different things. He says Hamster Roll is a big winner.
I agree.
I agree with that. He also says it is interesting. Short games is a loaded question thinking about it. Anything is short that you get invested in. I know we're talking about timed games. I mean, not really, but only kind of. But this feels like the deeper question. What game keeps you so engaged the time isn't what you think about until it's all over? I mean, that's a really interesting question. I think that's a different question, though. I don't think that's what we were asking.
Yeah, we were really trying to ask, if you literally know you only have a short amount of time, what kind of games would you pull out? I will say the other day, we were showing a friend Got 5, which is definitely a short game.
Right.
And their parent came to pick them up and we were not done yet. And we're like, I promise this is short.
Yeah.
Give us a couple more minutes. Give us a couple minutes. So things like that.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do think his other answers are helpful. Hamster Roll, Loop and Louie. He lists a bunch of push your luck games and memory games. Oh, he says That's Not a Hat. Yeah, when we played that, any one game of That's Not a Hat ended in 3 minutes.
Yeah, That's Not a Hat is actually a great poll for this question.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He has a whole bunch of recommendations in the Discord. I would just point you there for the sake of time.
Yes.
That being said, that is our Backtalk this week. We have another question, unsurprisingly, at the end of the show. But for now, we're going to take a quick break before we jump into our topic, Games for Grads.
So normally we just have a regular break, but this time it's an ad break.
It is an ad break. So this week we would like to announce that the Family Gamers Podcast is brought to you by
The Family Gamers Podcast.
What do we mean when we say this? Well, look, it's 2026. If you have been paying attention, inflation is a thing. Higher prices are a thing. And we don't ask anybody to pay for anything to listen to the Family Gamers Podcast. And we're not going to ask anybody to pay for anything to listen to the Family Gamers Podcast. But also, it costs more money to run the Family Gamers podcast. And our partnership with First Move Financial is super, super helpful. But thanks to the way things have gone, it's not quite getting there. And so after some serious conversations, Anitra and I have started a Patreon. So you can go to thefamilygamers.com/Patreon, or you can go to patreon.com/FamilyGamersAA to see our Patreon. Anitra, do you want to talk about it?
Sure. The whole idea of having a Patreon is a way to connect better with you, our listeners, with a little bit of money changing hands.
Yeah, look, the podcast is always going to be free.
Yes.
Right? We're never going to change that. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to come together and figure out, are there some kind of cool things that we could do as the Family Gamers that would make you feel like you're part of the community in a real and substantial and tangible way? So that's what we've done with the Patreon. So there are 4 pledge levels in the Patreon. There is a $2 a month level, which is just a way to say, hey, we appreciate what you're doing. The $2 a month level is called In Our Neighborhood. Just think about like your neighbors. They're people that are kind of around.
These are the people in your neighborhood.
Sure.
In your neighborhood.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. There's also a $5 a month pledge level. This is on the list. So this is, everything that you would get in the In Our Neighborhood pledge level, plus a birthday or holiday card. You send us your address and you tell us whether you'd like a birthday card or a card for a holiday of your choice, and we will personally write you one.
If that sounds great, but not quite enough, you can be part of the extended family. As part of our extended family, you're on our holiday card list and you get a birthday.
Yeah, you get a birthday card. I suppose if you wanted, 2 holidays or something like that, like we could figure it out, right?
Yeah,
so
we can work it out. You want us to send birthday cards to 2 different kids or whatever? Fine.
Happily do that. That's the extended family level at $10 a month. And then we've got the immediate family level at $20 a month. This gets you a birthday card and a holiday card, and we will send you some merch.
Yes.
That actually leads into our next topic, which is our store.
Yes, we have relaunched the merch store. Similar to the stuff we had before, but done through an entirely different organization. So
a better one.
Yes.
So you can head over to store.thefamilygamers.com and you can see t-shirts, and I think there's a hoodie on there, and mug and a tote bag and some other stuff. Family Gamers logo, Play Games with Your Kids logo, all sorts of stuff like that.
Yep.
So you can pick up some stuff there. One of the things that we're working on is getting discount codes for the store. They don't work yet, but when they do, they will be part of your perks on Patreon as well.
And I know Andrew already said it, but I want to emphasize one more time. We do not expect anybody to sign up to Patreon because, the poor Family Gamers, they don't have enough money to make the podcast. The podcast is always going to be free. If
you ever think you're going to get into this to make money, I don't know what to tell you.
The reviews and other content we make is always going to be free. But people have asked us a few times over the years, like, what else could I do to support you? I'm still going to say the best thing is leave us reviews in very public places and get more people to listen. But besides that, joining the Patreon or buying some merch really is an awesome way to show your support and help us out that little bit to stay in the black rather than in the red.
Right. So one of the other perks that is on the Patreon is member shoutouts. So I do want to give shout outs to 2 people who are already on the list.
Wow.
I know. If you go to Discord, we talk about this stuff before we put it on the show. So first, I'm going to shout out Adrian and Sarah. So they have sponsored on the list. So they're going to get a holiday or birthday card, which I think is pretty cool.
I agree.
I also want to shout out Josh, Courtney, JP, Peter, and Zach for signing up. They've signed up at our free tier, which just kind of means that any updates that come out through the Patreon, they're going to get those as well. So we really appreciate you guys. That's already 7 people that have signed up. I think it's great. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully you guys will even go to the merch store and find some cool stuff there as well. And now, back to the show. And we're back. All right, Anitra, what are we talking about for our topic this week?
So we have a recent high school graduate who will be heading off to college in about 2 months. And so we were thinking about what kind of games would be really good choices for someone in that kind of position. Specifically, kids going off to college or going off to a kind of communal living situation like a dorm.
Sure. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And so what we did was we picked 4 or so categories of different kinds of games.
Yes.
And I picked a game for each one of these categories, and you picked a game for each one of these categories.
One-ish for each category.
Oh, boy. Okay, so now you know who it is, by the way, who's responsible for the ish of it all.
It is not always me. It is. Last time it was you.
Okay, maybe. But anyway, so we are going to talk about those. We're going to talk about these 4 categories and our respective picks for them. How's that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay. Do you want to get us started?
Yeah. So our first category is really small games, not necessarily small footprint, but small box that are easy to learn. Small box because most communal living situations like dorms don't have a lot of extra space. And so you don't want to bring a big like Gloomhaven or, something like that. But also easy to learn games that are going to be easy to pull other people in and be like, hey, try this game. It's going to take 10 minutes. You're going to have fun. It's a great way to break the ice with roommates or orientation peers or whatever.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so what is your choice for this?
So this is my ish. My choice for this is Kabanga.
Okay.
But Kabanga is getting hard to find, although we did see it in Barnes & Noble the other day.
That is true.
So if not Kabanga, then my choice would be Circus Flocati.
All right, cool. So my choice for this is actually Similo. And there's a couple different reasons why. Number one, at the end of this, we may talk about like a special interest game. I'm not sure if you picked one for that or not. But there's a couple different kinds of Similo. So if you're a big Harry Potter fan, there's a Harry Potter Similo. But also, Similo can be played 2-player. So if you are in a dorm and it's just you and one other person, you could play Similo. You could also expand it to a group. You could play kind of either way. So it's very flexible in that regard, even though it's a small box game.
Yeah.
And perhaps most importantly, this is a situation in which you are meeting people. And one of the things that's really kind of neat about Similo, although maybe the first time you play it's a little frustrating, is you start to learn how people think. And learning how people think is a really key part of learning if people are your people.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right. And so whether or not it's going to gain you friends, it's going to help you understand whether or not these are people that think like you. And I think that's an incredibly valuable tool.
And I feel like a game like that will also really help you understand right out of the gate if these people would be the kind of people you want to play games with in the future.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Like very low investment to make that discovery.
Yep. And even though it's very easy to understand, it's also a cool game. It's the kind of game where you're like, okay, that's really neat. Can I show it to my friends? Like, yeah, you can.
So that part is kind of how I feel about Kabanga and Circus Flocati.
Sure.
Like they're super small boxes. I find them incredibly easy to teach, which is kind of key here.
Sure.
But also most people that I've shown them to, Kabanga in particular, are like, oh, wow, that was awesome.
Yep.
I want to play this again. I want to play it with other people.
Absolutely.
All that.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was why I picked Similo, but I definitely can understand where you're coming from on Kabanga and Circus Flocati. So the next small game that we want to choose for is solo games. So this is when they're just getting started. They don't know anybody yet. Maybe they're kind of nervous. They want something that maybe they can just spend some time on themselves. I'll go first on this one. I kind of stole yours, I think. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
My choice here was A Gentle Rain.
That was my choice as well.
Yes.
It's incredibly calming. It's incredibly beautiful. So in that same situation, like if you're playing it and someone comes over, they might be like, oh, that looks really cool.
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
And it's another one that's incredibly easy to learn and to explain. So it is really easy to like bring another person in and be like, oh, I'm just matching up these flowers and I'm trying to fill all of these spots to win the game.
I also think that there's something about it that almost in the same way that you have those little like sand Zen garden things, like there's something in
there
the
definitely
same
is.
DNA there, right? And so when our daughter is going to this big scary place where everything is different and she may want to just be alone and recenter. And I thought that A Gentle Rain would be a good choice for that.
Yeah. This also makes me think that as parents, we would highly recommend some of these game experiences, particularly solo game, as a way to avoid falling down the social media rabbit hole.
Oh, which is like unavoidable, but...
Which is unavoidable, but hopefully by the time a kid is in college, they have probably had a lot of contact with social media, but they also know that it can be a problem, that if you're feeling lonely or if you're feeling a little bit down, you can start down that path to say, oh, well, I'm just going to get my little dopamine hit and do it. And then 2 hours have disappeared and you don't know where they went.
The other thing I'd be more concerned about, and I mean, this is kind of a different topic for a different time, playing a solo game, you're playing a game, right? You know what you're doing and it's fine. Social media proxies relationships.
Yeah.
And that's way more dangerous.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
All right. Our third category feels like the most obvious one to me, which is a party game.
Mhm.
Not that all schools are party schools, but part of the point of communal living, whether it's college or otherwise, is to get to know new and different people
Mhm.
and to spend time with them. Party games are great for that. Getting to know new and different people, and spending time with them doing silly, fun things.
Yes. Or at least fun things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you got?
My top choice for a party game would still and always be Anomia.
Okay. All right. I actually think Anomia is a great choice, especially in that kind of post high school, secondary education, academic, space where, people are a little bit smarter and a little bit more clever.
You want to show off some of what you know.
Yeah. There's some intellectual rigor that's going on with these people. Like, I think that's a good choice for that kind of an environment. Whereas for me, my choice is a little bit more base.
Okay.
It's Green Team Wins. I mean, come on.
Sure. I did think about this, and if you know the kind of kid who's going away to do this, and they really lean into the silliness, I would actually change my recommendation to Throw Burrito.
Okay, sure. I mean, yeah.
It is very silly. There's a serious game under there. It's not a hard game.
Yeah.
But it's very, very silly.
I mean, that's true. I think you're taking a bigger risk pulling out Throw Burrito because there's the whole running around and chucking things at people thing that it's just like, it just might not be people's thing. And it could be very much of a kind of a turnoff. You know what I mean?
Let me be a little stereotypical here for a moment. For our daughter, I would send her off with Anomia or Green Team Wins. For our son, I would send him with Throw Burrito.
Sure. Okay. I mean, whatever. Yeah.
It is what it is.
That's fine. But Green Team Wins, another great game where you can have arguments about how people think, but they don't matter.
Yes. It's the kind of thing that turns into inside jokes and being able to tease each other and no hard feelings. Yeah.
Core memories.
Yeah.
That's what we're going for here. So that's why my choice was Green Team Wins. And your choice was, of course, Anomia.
Our fourth category is for those of us who will miss our children when they are gone. Games that play well on Zoom or at a distance or asynchronously.
Sure. I mean, I would almost go so far as to say that it could be for the parents. It could be for the friend group that is no longer together because they're not in high school anymore or whatever. This has been the big joke with our daughter is she finally found her people like 2 months before high school graduation.
I would say about 6 months before, but yes, that has been a recurring joke.
What are you going to do? But anyway, so this was Zoom games. Now, of course, about 6 years ago, we had a lot of experience with Zoom games.
We did.
Don't really do that so much anymore. But what was your choice?
My choice for this was Blank Slate.
Okay.
Of all of the games that we did try playing remotely with friends and family, especially during pandemic lockdowns, Blank Slate was the one I really had the most fun with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's another one of those you're trying to get people to think alike, right? But it can also lead into those in-jokes and core memories. And a game that does that when you're not even sitting in the same room together is a game to be treasured, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I actually think Blank Slate's a really good choice because, like, technically you don't really need the game to play the game.
Well, I would say this is one where it's very helpful if one person has the game.
Yes.
But not everybody needs the game. Technically, yes, you could just come up with clues and whatever on your own.
But what I mean is everybody needs to have something to write on and something to show.
Yes.
Right? Like that, the idea of the game is that everybody has a little board and a white, a
little whiteboard
marker or whatever. But you really only need one clue master. The game that I chose for this, I think works great as a Zoom game. Okay, so it's Wavelength, which I love the game. I think this is one of the first games I ever played over Zoom. But the problem with Wavelength is you do need a facilitator, right? Because you're going to have someone who is always, someone has to move the dial to the right place and do all those things. And if everybody doesn't have a copy of the game, not everybody can do that.
Right.
So that's why I think Blank Slate is an excellent choice for this. I still think Wavelength is a good choice for this, but,
Yeah, I like Wavelength, but for this, I like Blank Slate a lot more because it's not going to require a lot of extra from anyone, really.
Right. Now, I will say, of course, with Board Game Arena and other online gaming options, there's way more ways than ever to be able to play remotely and do those kinds of things. So that's certainly a benefit. But Wavelength and Blank Slate, two good choices, I would say.
Yeah. And then our non-category is, of course, if you know someone well enough to want to buy them games as a almost adult or burgeoning adult,
sure,
you probably know what their special interests are. So a game that fits their special interest is pretty much always going to be a good choice.
Mhm.
We know the special interest for all of our kids, but honestly, we know the special interest for a lot of our kids' friends at this point as well. So
Right.
if we wanted to give them a graduation gift in that vein.
Okay. I'm going to publicly say that I am emotionally prepared to send our daughter off with our copy of Flamecraft.
I think that would probably go over very well. Claire's biggest special interest outside of music is dragons. And Flamecraft is the favorite cute dragon game.
Yep.
There have been many, but that one is the best one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and it's a good game, right? I mean, that part helps as well.
Yeah. I also think of a graduating senior friend of ours who's going off to flight school. He actually has played and really enjoyed the game First in Flight. But if he hadn't yet, I might go get it for him.
Sure. No, I think that's appropriate as well. So definitely tailoring some of those gifts to give those grads is something that's very important to do if you have the ability to do so.
So that's it for this week.
We really ran through those pretty quick, I guess.
Well, to go back through it quickly, our 4 groups of games are the small box, easy to learn games, easy to teach and break the ice. For that, our choices are Kabanga, Circus Flocati, and Similo, all for slightly different reasons. Our second category is a solo game for when the kid doesn't know anybody yet or they just need some time to decompress by themselves. And you and I both chose A Gentle Rain for that.
Yes.
It really exemplifies this kind of game for us.
And specifically what we anticipate as people who have gone to college and have gone and done the scary thing, the kinds of struggles and difficulties and emotions and whatever that would need to be comforted.
Yeah.
And that's what this game would do, or help with, hopefully.
Category 3 was party games. And our choices for that are Anomia, Green Team Wins, or for your particularly active/violent young adults, Throw Burrito.
I mean, you know, if you're going to get crazy, you could throw Space Team in there as well, right? But that's a kind of a different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to keep in touch with family or the friends at home or the friends who have dispersed across the country, games that you can play on a video chat.
Right.
Zoom for us old timers, probably FaceTime for the kids.
I guess. I will say this. One game that we really thought was going to be a great Zoom game, which is actually a terrible Zoom game, is Hues and Cues.
Oh, yeah. Don't
Color
do
balance
that.
is just, it's not
good enough.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough. You really need to be in the same place with the same lighting as the people that are giving and taking clues in order for Hues and Cues to work.
Yeah. So Wavelength is a pretty good choice here, but I think Blank Slate would be our top choice for a
I will
zoomable
relent
game.
the correct decision to nature on this one.
That leaves us with a Backtalk question.
Sure. Surprisingly, the Backtalk question is not directly related to our topic this week.
What?
I thought I'd mix it up a little bit, but here we go. We are right at the beginning of summer. Origins is actually happening this week. Gen Con is happening later this summer. People usually have more free time.
Hopefully we will.
So, my question, what is one board game related thing you are looking forward to doing this summer? Hopefully with your family, given that we are the family gamers. Is it a game that you really want to get to the table? Is it a convention that you've always wanted to go to? Is it something else? I don't even know. I have no clue. You tell me.
Well, what are you hoping for?
Honestly, I'm hoping that we cut down the review queue. I mean, that's kind of the big one for me. I really want to play more Unmatched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's high on my list.
All right.
Yep.
I'm with you. Basically, my hope is that we can just find time to play more games and not be struggling to get in just 2 or 3 different games in a week.
Yeah.
It's been tough.
Yeah, first world problems, man. All right, well, there's a bunch of different places that you can go to answer our Backtalk question. One of them is going to be a post in the Facebook community. You can get to that community by going to thefamilygamers.com/community or going to Facebook and searching for the Family Gamers community. But that's not the only place.
You can also respond in the Backtalk channel on the Family Tabletop community on Discord. The easiest way to get an invite to the Discord community is go to thefamilygamers.com/Discord. Of course, you can find us all over that evil social media at the tag Family Gamers AA.
That's right. You can find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads, YouTube. Man, that's a lot of places. You can also, by the way, find us on Patreon at patreon.com/FamilyGamersAA.
What?
Or you can go to thefamilygamers.com/Patreon. I try to make this stuff easy.
Wow.
Yeah. So definitely check that out. It is a great way that you can, help us out or just really show, that you're active listeners. I mean, just knowing that you're out there is, heartening for us. You can also take a look at the merch store at store.thefamilygamers.com. Get yourself a Family Gamers t-shirt. Maybe send one with your grad to college, huh?
And of course, you can still always email us.
Just email. Andrew at thefamilygamers.com.
Anitra at thefamilygamers.com. Please don't forget to subscribe to this podcast if you like what you've been hearing. Tell your friends about the podcast and leave us a review at Apple Podcast or wherever it is you subscribe. Leaving reviews helps other people you don't know find the Family Gamers podcast and decide if it's how they want to spend their time.
Mm-hmm. You can also find us on YouTube Music, on Amazon Music, on TuneIn, and on Spotify. We just got notified that we have over 5,000 streams on Spotify. So that's pretty awesome. So check us out in all those places.
All of the music for the Family Gamers podcast is provided with permission by You Bred Raptors.
Prehistoric prog rock. That's them. Family Gamers is sponsored by First Move Financial. Go to firstmovefinancial.com/familygamers to learn how the team at First Move can help you pile up the victory points.
Well, that's going to be it for us this week. We're going to nurse the sunburn that we got through several graduation parties.
It's all the
this
grad
weekend.
parties, man. It's killer. We've got some cool stuff we're going to talk about on the next show. Thankfully, we don't have to say goodbye to our grad anytime soon, but we will play some games with her.
I sure hope so.
All right, so until next week, everybody.
Play games with your kids.